Our guest for today is Sai Charan. Sai Charan has secured an All India rank of 1 in CMA Foundation in the year 2017. And he's a first attempt CA, pass out 2022. Currently, he works with Standard Chartered Bank. Today, we are here to find out about how exactly did Sai Charan make his career choice back in his school and get some tips from him. So let's get to it. Hi, Sai Charan. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'd love to know more about your achievement, but let's start with what do you currently do? Over to you.
Thank you so much, Kushbu, for inviting me. I'm very much excited to be on the first podcast of a Critical Thinking School, so which is a very good initiative for all the school students across the country. And so, as you have said, so presently I'm working at Standard Chartered as a product control specialist. So it's majorly connected with the stock exchanges and the daily so whatever we read in the business news and all. So if I have to sort it down in layman terms, it basically the traders who trade every day. So whatever it may be, like the shares, bonds, which the government releases or anything. So they are all our clients, and we handle the accounts on behalf of them. So we do prepare the accounts and manage everything, the profit and loss, if I have to say, in the simplest terms. So that we handle as a product control. So
Thank you so much for sharing that. When you were back in school, what kind of career clarity did you have? I'm sure back in school you did not know that your first job was going to be a product control specialist, right? Perhaps you didn't even know this term existed. So, what kind of career clarity did you have when you were in school, say 8th, ninth, or 10th standard, and how exactly did you get that clarity?
So when I was back then, so as usual, so what the first technique which we apply when we choose a career is the elimination technique. So we go by what in which subject we are basically interested in. So I went with that, and initially I wasn't interested in science, and then I went into the math side. So when I got into maths, and then the rest two options were either I have to go into commerce or arts. And then my dad, and then he guided me one day. He told me all the options available, so whatever I can do, pursue in long term, like UPSC and CA or CS or CMA, so whatever. So everything he told me one fine day after class 8, so that I can find my interesting subject in my class 9 and 10, so that I can choose the stream in class 11. So it started there. And then my dad was an ardent follower of Sri Yandamuri Virendranath. So he's a Telugu author, he's a director, and he's a chartered accountant. So he was a phenomenal motivator as well. And then I used to read his books, follow him on YouTube, everywhere. So even I got fascinated by him, like the amount of capability and the motivation he generates through that, because he has got through the toughest course, one of the toughest courses in India. So that made him very strong, and that fascinated me to choose chartered accountancy. And regarding job, see, and a eighth or ninth class candidate cannot tell what kind of job he will do. But at least
Correct.
I was sure that I I will be able to read chartered accountancy because the subjects were motivating to me. And then later on, I will choose a job according to, like, after 4 or 5 years, when I will be deep down into chartered accountancy. So yes,
Right.
that was.
So, I'm taking two key takeaways from whatever you just mentioned. So, first thing you did right was you chose what subjects are there in school and what do you like. You chose you chose the process of elimination. Via that, you finalized you like math, right? And after
Yes.
that, your dad told you what all are the list of professions that you can pursue if you like that particular subject. So, you
Yes.
highlighted two professions, CA, CMA, and I think UPSC. What do you roughly remember how many professions did your dad take you through? Because usually it must there must be at least 20 to 30 such professions, right? So was it an exhaustive list or did he holistically mention it? How did that journey look like?
The options, like, most like, he said to me, like, if we see it from the top roof, we have the commerce and
Yeah.
the arts. So under them we have lot of professions, like whatever I mentioned, CA, CS, CMA. And if I go through the other commerce options, we can go to MBA also, IIMs. So that was
Hmm.
also an option. And if I go into arts, so I can go into economics or statistics or any subject I can take, and I can go into that field, or political administration. There are there are jobs in that roles as well. So deep down, he told me that these are the subjects. If you go into that, you will be facing income tax, you will be facing GST, or the the stock exchanges, whatever they do. So he just told me of the subjects, and he just named me some professions. And more importantly, he stressed on CA.
Okay. What made you eliminate science immediately?
Like it's, I used to read, but I didn't get any interest. Like I can't say any answer for that, because when I do math, I love solving those problems, or remembering the formulas, or immediately answering them, or whatever. I used to remember science. I used to do it. It was like just giving an exam, but I don't know whether it might be because of my student, of my friends or teachers. Most importantly, I had very good math teacher.
True. Yeah.
Yes,
I think
yes,
that would have played a huge impact and a role
yeah.
in your career choice.
So yes, my school teachers in science weren't that interesting. So they just completed their syllabus and went. So that might be also one factor which I can think of. So teachers
Right.
also impact a lot.
Right, right. Okay, to sum up your answer, there are three things that played a major role in your decision of an informed career choice, right? First was you looked at the subjects and then you eliminated what you don't like. From whatever you liked, you chose the professions. You took a list, you took a look at the list of professions and you chose what professions would go with what you like. And the way you decided what profession do you like is by checking the subjects and reading a bit about those subjects that you're
Yes,
going to study
yes,
eventually. And third, and the most important, I think, was a role of a mentor who already was a CA. You looked up to him, you liked everything he did, he said, and all the knowledge that he had, and you wanted to maybe pursue what he's pursuing or become like him. So,
yes,
hence, that helped out, right? In hindsight, if we
yes,
see.
yes.
Awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about how has experience and life been after that tag of All India Rank 1?
uh, when something good comes, the basic thing is you should be in a position to justify it. So the term justification plays a lot of role. So
Very true.
whenever I go, like immediately after that, I had to go into CA articulture. So wherever I had gone into articulture, they were immediately seeing my certificates, and the first thing they notice is like, okay, he had already scored AR1 in CMA Foundation and AR12 in CMA Inter. So he would be definitely having a lot of grip over the subject. He would have read the subject very in depth. So they ask questions in that level also. Like if they go into a section, they go into subsection. They won't ask any general questions. So you have to be in a position to handle the tag also. You get lot of benefits. People recognize you. You get the tag as a benefit on LinkedIn also, everywhere. But whenever someone reaches you with a doubt or with a question, or majorly in the interviews, like the 90% of the role it plays in the interviews only. So you should be on top of your game in justifying the tag.
Right, very true. I think with that tag comes a great responsibility. While it looks very glorifying and fancy from the outside, but the next thing that would be asked is, the why and the how and the what, and you have to justify everything. And you'd
Yes,
be expected to know a lot more than, say,
yes,
any other candidate in the room. Very true. Yes.
yes.
I would like to ask you, what would be your advice for the current generation, the 8th, 9th, 10th standard school students who are confused about their career options? How do you think can they get clarity of their confusion and, eventually pave way for themselves?
So as I said, the first thing which I would recommend is find your interesting subject. Or it's not just about studies. So not everyone excels in studies. Find your interest. It might be sports, it might be music, it might be dance, or anything. And I think they have to speak, like the parents should also give them the freedom to share their interest openly. Because class 10th, if I can say, suppose one student is interested in sports, he should be like at that age under 14 or under 15, he must be playing at that national level of under 14 or under 15, to prove
Right.
them to their parents that yes, I have a future. By the time I reach under 19, I will be playing somewhere. So take your time, find your interest, prove them to your parents, and take the step there itself. because if you delay that, he might not be good in studies, and then later on they might be in a more confusing stage after 5 years.
Correct.
So
So to
yes,
summarize your answer, what you're trying to say is either use subjects, or if you're not good with academics and you don't like any subject, use hobbies. Try to
yes,
find what you're good at, find a way of making money,
yes,
look up to people that have already made money in that field and try to pursue
yes,
the same journey. And eventually your parents will also,
yes,
take your side and be on the same page as you are. And
yes,
your advice is also to start early, because you also said
yes,
that don't waste too much time, right? So
yes,
the earlier you start, the better it is.
yes.
What hobbies did you have growing up aside of the academics?
I had a lot of hobbies. Like I was a state level badminton player during my up to my class 10th. So
Awesome.
I reached semifinals up to badminton, and then I was also state level player in table tennis. And then I was a school cricket captain. And then I was very good at sports at that time. And then I was also in the Scouts and Guides, which you say NCC and all. So I was part of that, and I had the Rajya Puraskar certificate in Bharat Scouts and Guides, and the next level was Rashtrapati, but I Rashtrapati certificate, but I came out of my school, so that wasn't possible. So I was the topper of entire South region in Rajya Puraskar, and along with that, I also used to participate in many competitions like essays, quiz, and then I was a captain in my school, and then. All these extra competitions, drawing also, and then I won a lot of painting competitions. So all those things I used to do along with my along with my school, and I was good at public speaking also. I used to handle the everyday assembly. So all the stage handling events I used to handle, skits, everything. So wherever I got chance, I just went, and I just lived during my school life.
You must have been a very, very famous person in the
Yes,
school,
yes,
given the
yes,
amount of accolades you have attached to your name. Yeah, it's amazing. Congratulations on that. So, what
yes.
was your? Did you have a fallback option ever? Like, if not for CA, what else would you do, considering the pass percentage and the intake rate?
Yes, deep down I had the fear. Like you will definitely not be 100% confident with anything. But
Correct.
I was 99.9% confident that I will definitely clear somewhere.
Wow, amazing. Because you had all these state level titles in a couple of sports. So, but you didn't have a plan B. You always did that just for recreation and leisure purpose.
Yes, 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 yes. Always for recreation.
Awesome.
Yeah, I
Awesome.
even play now, and in even after coming into CA, we had branch level sports activities every time. Every yearly, they conduct the CA branches. So there also, I won the table tennis competition. Or so it is going. Even now, I am
Awesome.
playing. So
Right. Amazing. Yeah. I think you always need something to balance your work with, and you have to
yes,
have such hobbies. I would
yes.
agree with you
Actually, it
100%.
increase your concentration a lot, because while you play, you understand how to defeat your opponent, and you will learn how to, like, if you lose a game, then you will definitely try to think how to win the next game. So it will increase your pace in your life as well. So you in life also you play the real life game. So you need to be very active. When you're active, then mentally you will automatically be active.
Very true. Very true. If you could go back in time and give yourself an advice, do something differently, what would that advice be to your younger self?
Uh, I would have calmed myself very down. Like uh, I was always a student who always wanted results very quick. Like if I think I wanted it to be happen today or tomorrow or day by day. But over the years, I have realized something, that you won't get solutions within a day for any question. So I started in ninth. I realized it at the end of class 10th. So even if I find many of the students very confused, and they find it like being in a stage of confusion is a negative thing, but that is
Yeah.
not a negative thing. So I
Hmm.
want to remove this myth, because take your time, talk to everyone, but don't delay it too long. That's it.
Hmm.
And don't
Hmm.
rush, or don't delay. Take your ideal time and then choose. So I was very like the day I entered into class 11. You won't believe
Hmm.
I had I had known the entire syllabus till CA final. Like I
Wow.
so the day I entered, so I was taking too much of tension like up to CA final in class 11 itself. So like don't rush that much. Take your time, do it very calm. That will help your brain function much more better. I would say this to
Right.
myself.
Right. I think the lack of patience issue that you
Yes,
highlighted, that's not
yes,
just yours, that's a generational issue. So I think that's something we're going to have to look forward to solving.
yeah.
What would be your final words of wisdom for our school students and our parents?
Especially to parents, because uh, keep the communication lines open first of all, because most of yes, these like in the present generation we do find parents who are openly communicating with their kids about what career choices they should have established, but I do find some gaps. Like kids are really like they are fearing with their parents like what they have to pursue, and I really found many of them coming into CA because of their parents pressure, or like I'm from a Marwari family, so I'm a kid, so I want my parents want me to pursue CA only, uh, or business and do business only. So because not everything, nobody will spoon feed you everything. This is also a very big thing
Very
which I
true.
want to share to the kids. Whether you might be in class in 8 or 9, you have everything in your hand. You have the internet, you have the phone. It will give you the result the way you use. So you just need to do the proper research. If you have the interest, research will automatically come. It won't take that much time. The resources are everything is in front of you. You just have to solve the puzzle. That's it. So do the research
Right.
and keep the communication lines open and calm down yourself.
Right. And if the parents force the kid to pursue a particular option, and if the kid gives into that kind of pressure, the problem here is the parent would be done and dusted, right? Kid has started their
Yes.
educational journey, will also pursue the job, everything, but the kid will always have to live under the burden of that parent's
Yes.
expectations and will never
Yes.
be able to flourish or do what the kid would really be doing. And that's a complete waste of time and resource that even the country has.
Yes.
So I think that's a very wise point that you've highlighted. Thank you so much for your time today and sharing your valuable insights. Remember to think critically and make informed career choices and life choices. This is founder and CEO of the Critical Thinking School, Khushbu Chopra, signing off.